I'm Rowan.
And hi, I'm Zach.
And this is the 4th episode of In the Zone 2.0. I have no idea how to do this. How am I supposed to introduce stuff? Today we'll be talking about a thing about machines.
Also known as Fever number 2.
Right.
Because there are so many similarities to the Fever, it's ridiculous.
So, you can check this out, if you must, on Hulu, Netflix, IMDb,
But you have to
DVDs from the library. But, you know, I don't know if I would recommend doing that. But we are going to spoil the whole thing, so you've been warned. Just for legal purposes.
But it's really
okay.
The first thing that I noticed about this was the title.
This title is stupid.
What a low quality title.
One of the worst titles we've seen so far. I mean, what won worst name at the Zonies last year? It was Third from the Sun.
Okay. But that gave away a twist.
Right, but this is just so lazy. It's almost as lazy as Nervous. No, it's lazier than Nervous Ben in the $4 room.
Similarity number.
It literally is a thing about machine.
Similarity number 1 to the Fever. A good idea that they did badly. Like, you know, you could have gone well with this plot.
I would disagree that neither were a good idea.
Really?
Yeah, neither episodes were a good idea.
You could have done both of them better, though.
Right.
So, we start out with this intro shot, and the filming is so subpar. Like, it's just, like, kind of a shaky camera. That's the first thing I noticed, which kind of set me off about this episode.
A car drives up to this nice house with a nice pool. Guy comes out, sees the TV repair van, and his name is Bartlett Finchley.
You don't know that his name is Bartlett yet.
From his cool mailbox. Yes, you do know.
It says B. Finchley.
Oh.
It doesn't say Bartlett.
And he is British, and like all British people, angry. So the TV repairman reminds what's-his-face, Bartlett, that he
What a stupid name. What kind of parent names their kid Bartlett?
Kicked his foot through the TV
but it's
screen.
like, oh, it stopped working.
They also have some expository dialogue about how once he threw his radio down the stairs. So,
he uses a lot of big words. You get the message that, like...
Well, turns out he's a writer for gourmet magazines.
Yeah, but, like, you get the message that he thinks he is better than the repairman.
Yes, the repairman says that the machines aren't working, maybe because Finchley doesn't treat them right.
Yeah.
And then, Bartlett Finchley says, when I write my autobiography, I'll make a chapter just for you, called The Most Forgettable Person I Ever Met. But there are lots of, episodes, a handful of episodes of the Twilight Zone, where most of the dialogue, most of the charm, comes from characters throwing insults at each other. Finchley pours himself a drink after the repairman leaves.
The repairman leaves.
And he hears a clock chime, bam, 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 in his house, you know? And he's mad, so he takes it out, and he smashes it, and he takes like a fire poker, and he just goes, bam, bam.
We don't see it fall the first time, but when
it's crazy. It's like, wow.
Like, I feel like at this point, Rod Serling knew that there was a joke that there were so many glass breaks in the Twilight Zone and decided to embrace it. Let's have a guy beat up a clock for no real reason. There was no point to that scene. And then we freeze on him like, ah! I thought that,
that was cool. And then Rod Serling delivers his intro from a television, just like in real life. Looks a little different now. So, fade to black. And
so then we
turns out Bartlett Finchley, he's alright at acting. So his personal secretary, Miss Rogers, is typing away, gives him the papers, but Finchley is disappointed, and he blames it on the typewriter. And then Miss Rogers is somewhat rude because she's had to put up with him, and she quits. But he begs her not to go, and wants her to stay for dinner.
Like, you can find some girl who's as sensitive as an alligator, and you two can live a happy life together.
It's crazy. It's crazy that
I'm just gonna say, will the next secretary know about this? Hello, I hired you because you are as sensitive as an alligator.
I think this may be the second most, like, insult-heavy episode. First being Uncle Simon in the 5th season. That episode is just insults. It's crazy. Like, if you like that episode, if you liked this episode, which, sorry. Then not only will you love a good episode, but you'll also love Uncle Simon. So he begs her not to go, and he wants her to stay for dinner, but she declines. And he's like, I haven't slept for 4 nights, and he explains about all the machine stuff, and he doesn't want to be alone. But he is, because no one wants to be
There's the sleeplessness in the Fever. We have the woman who's trying to be nice to him, but
she's not trying to be nice to him.
Originally, she was trying to be nice to him.
In the Fever, she was trying to be nice to him, not anything about
but, like, like, he's not nice to her at all.
Right.
He's very mean to her, and then, like, she gives up a little bit. Flora Gibbs did not do that, but when we're, like, comparing and contrasting two episodes that are supposed to be
what's her
completely
face?
different.
Miss Rogers was never doing anything in the first place. I don't think this episode is...
Yeah. It's pretty similar.
Mainly
So also,
the ending.
Yeah, but also...
Just the way it is.
Franklin fears the slot machine, and Finchley fears, like, his machines.
He doesn't fear the slot machine. If he feared the slot machine, why'd he go down there every night?
Okay.
Every minute of every
I don't
night.
know still.
Burned.
Well, your mom.
I'm mom.
No, your mom.
I'm mom.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, okay.
This did not work.
Me? He explains the middle of the night, the TV and radio go on, and he doesn't want them to, and they go on by themselves.
Can we just say that
He says it's
some
a
good
conspiracy
episodes
between all
have,
the,
like, kind of
machines.
some really good episodes have, like, kind of a Twilight Zone twist that you don't 100% see coming. When you hear these are the episodes, but when you hear, like, oh, the machines, they're turning on in the night, there is not a doubt in your mind that he is, like, not good at technology.
That didn't make any sense.
Okay. They didn't deliver it well.
You didn't deliver it well. He also talks about this anecdote when the steering wheel, like, moved by itself and he had to get a repair because it crashed into a thing.
And it was $140 or something, right?
He explains he has never been able to operate machines. She suggests a doctor, but he declines. Now it looks like I'm just reading a Wikipedia summary.
Yeah.
He says doctors know nothing. Then he angrily smashes a small bowl, pow, against the wall, and Miss Rogers is like, what?
So I just like to say about, like, the small bowl, why was it sitting there? Like, they only put it there so that he could, like, throw it.
And why did he throw it?
Also, how does this house so nice and, like, not littered with ceramic shards if this is his
I know. She says that he's having delusions. Then more insults, blah, blah, blah.
And then he's like, just stay for dinner. She's like, thanks, but no thanks.
She says, you know you're in this Mortal Kombat with you and the machines? Well, I hope you lose. She leaves, typewriter, types on its own, get out of here, Finchley, in quotes for some reason.
So now, another thing, lots of...
The special effects are great.
Yeah, but another similarity with The Fever, lots of stuffer, right? Like, just there is so much of, like...
Padding?
No, yeah.
Or kind of, like doing the same thing
filler
over
material.
and over.
Like, there's so much of, like, him flipping out at various different
Filler
machines.
stuffer. I can see how that kind of...
Like the TV says, why don't you get out of here, Finchley? Like, so many times we, like, go back to the typewriter. I feel like they did miss a huge opportunity to have the lights flip out on him.
That would have been something that they would have done.
They should have done.
They should have done. So this dancer on TV, which turns on by itself, she dances for a really long time, clearly padding. They just had to have her dance for a super long time.
And then, like, it's
get out of here.
Why don't you get out of here, Finchley? And then she keeps dancing.
Yeah. Then he yells at the machines. He goes up to the set and says, "You are not going to intimidate me, you machines!" Fade to black.
So then he makes some calls.
Right. He's crying. First he calls Agatha Moore, some kind of old friend, asks for dinner. She declines. It's kind of cool how he's lonely because no one wants to marry him, but he needs someone. You thought that this guy wasn't sympathetic. I thought he was. I did feel sorry for him.
I didn't feel very sorry for him. I thought he was a very unlikable character.
Okay.
Like, after what he did to the TV repairman.
Yeah, you're right. He's quite rude. But it's just because these machines have been mean. It's not like this is the first time that these machines have
But when he's like, you have exactly 3.5 minutes to get off my property. Like, why didn't he invite everyone to dinner if he was so lonely?
Right. Why didn't...
Or, like not just like that, but, like, why didn't he just say, like, get off my property? Anyway, that's later.
No, you bet it is.
So then he makes the calls.
He declines for dinner, then he looks in this tiny phone book, calls someone else, Pauline, and then...
My favorite 30-year-old unattractive...
It's the worst expository dialogue I think I've ever heard in the Twilight Zone, and probably my life. He goes, "How's my favorite attractive young widow?"
Can I just say it?
That's so bad.
Master of pickup lines right there. Like, just go up to...
He's saying stuff for the audience, not for her. Oh my gosh, and he's like, "Well, I'll get you a wedding present for your wedding." What's that? You got married. What? I can't believe that you got married.
Also, it was just so unnecessary. Like, I get that if she had, like, come into this story, maybe you needed to do that, but just why can't he say, like...
Why does she even have to be married? Why can't she just turn him down?
It throws the phone down on the floor.
Right. And
I think it broke, but it was metal. Or plastic.
It wouldn't have been a glass, right? Anyways, his razor has a mind of its own. And then it
starts, like,
floats.
flying. That was
very good.
That was the one thing that was, like, maybe the only thing that was good about the...
episode?
Also, comparison to the fever, Franklin, like that noise, the Franklin noise, the slot machine walking.
Right.
Good special effects, bad episode.
Right. Okay. Oh, and a very uptight main character, man.
Yes.
Then his phone says, "Get out of here, Finchley." Then he hears a police car. What? This scene is so... Well, I guess it's not that dumb. It's clearly padding. This whole episode is padding for itself. There's no real story. This whole episode is a man does not like machines. And you know
the
what?
Machines do not like the man.
So then everything else is just padding.
Yeah.
This episode is not a good one. So he goes to see what all the trouble is about with the police car. And he learns that his car rolled into the street and almost hit this idiot little boy.
And he's just, like, subtly eating a popsicle, and the first thing he has, like, one eye open, and he's just, like...
Maybe the worst kid I've seen yet
and
on
then,
the
like,
Twilight Zone.
He has, like, a gel to hair.
I don't like him at all. I think he's worse than Tommy.
Oh, no, not worse than Tommy. Maybe if he had spoken, he would have been worse than Tommy.
Well, that's him. That's the man ramming you over. That's the kind of thing they do. Finchley said that the emergency brake was on, but whatever.
I clearly didn't
because
work.
the machine, you know.
He didn't seem to be handling his situation at all the way I would. Like, if I was Finchley and my typewriter randomly went on and started typing, "Get out of the house," I would not go to bed in that house.
You would take its advice.
Yeah, I would be like, thanks. Like, get some guy to come smash up the machines with a hammer and live a technology-free existence.
You know what would have been sweet? If this whole episode was just him smashing stuff. Wouldn't that be so awesome if that was the episode? He just goes up to the phone, he just goes, wham, wham, bow, and then it's all like powder by the end. And then...
Yeah, if the entire episode was just like...
Because that part when he's smacking the clock, that's the best part of the whole episode. If that was the whole episode... And then he beats up Miss Rogers because he doesn't like her either. He goes, boop, boop.
And then maybe like later he beats up the typewriter.
Beats up the kid. He goes bam, bam, bam. And then he takes a popsicle and dips it in the blood and takes a lick. And then it's the end.
So then he gets drunk.
Right, pours himself a drink. Then
he pours himself more drink. Yeah, the bottle's empty.
Then he passed out on the ground or whatever, the sofa. Then the clock noises. What? The clock isn't there. How's it making noise?
This is the weird part. Like, it just made no sense. And then like the unplugged telephone really starts saying, "Get out of here, Finchley. Get out of here, Finchley."
Yeah, but then it's kind of like there's no solution to his problem. Yeah. So that's why.
There's a scene where it's all like, "Get out."
Because if that didn't happen, he'd just smash everything up.
Yeah.
Then the typewriter types some more, of course.
And then this is the TV. This is the best TV part so far.
There's static.
And then
it's like a lot of different voices from like a lot of different channels. You know what it could have been like? Oh, you know what would have made this episode so much better?
What?
Is if it was like, this is kind of like the music video for like a Rolling Stone that Bob Dylan did. But where he turns the channel and every time it's like a different show and people are like doing the motions. They're like looking straight at him, but they're doing the motions that they would in a normal show. Like they're like for example, if we were talking and we were like, "Get out of here, Finchley. Why don't you get out of here, Finchley?" You're right. This episode, well, no, it wasn't a good idea, but it could have been good if they hired us back in time and we were like, yeah, we're gonna fix it up.
Yeah. So then, we have some more smashing. Probably the best 3 seconds since the first 3 seconds.
All right.
He slams the chair into his TV.
Right.
And the TV screen breaks. It's a very good break, but not a very good glass break.
We don't really see it. Yeah. I guess it's technically a glass break.
But it's not the best glass break.
Right.
So then, like, the razor chases him down
the razor crawls down the stairs, which is pretty cool.
So he finally takes the hint and runs out of the house.
Yes, after falling a few times. And the fall looked really genuine. I think it might have been real, or he's a really good fall actor.
There were a few bad falls later.
Yeah. So anyways, outside the car starts, whoops, it backs up,
so then he does
and there's
this
a
really
chase.
stupid thing.
There's a
like
long,
he
boring
runs,
chase scene.
he runs out exactly where he could be chased. Just the chasing is so fake. Like,
yeah, boring, it's really
and
boring.
then, so he's backed up against a fence, and there are 3 cranes making a perfect staircase.
Goes up.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about the
And then-
details of the chase.
But the last detail about the chase
is
so,
that he runs back to his house eventually.
Yeah.
He's at the pool, falls into the pool. The car breaks. It's so dumb. He drowns. There's no way he could drown except maybe because he's drunk, I guess.
There's such a good opportunity.
But wouldn't have made a ton more sense if the car ran him over instead of him drowning.
Red Renard death.
He didn't even get knocked out. He was just in the pool like this.
I actually thought if the car just ran into him or if over him, but instead it ran him into the pool.
Then if this couldn't get any worse,
Yeah.
there's a classic
Also,
Twilight
this
Zone
is exactly-
explaining scene. My favorite kind of scene.
Wait, just last thing. That car scene and the car scene and the subsequent explaining scene is fever all over. Just
What if we beat up this
the
table?
machine chases him and then he falls over and then he dies in the fall and then later 2 people explain that
that his death was of natural causes, but then we see the object that killed him, and then we know. I'm gonna close the door. If you knock over this table, please do not do that.
Oh darn, now I will never be able to knock over the table. Oh no, now I can't knock it over. What darn. Full beer for Rowan. It's a very bad explaining scene. Also, I feel like this is another
explaining scenes
This
are
is
bad.
another typical Twilight Zone explaining scene. 2 middle-aged men who look creepily alike. They always look the same.
His body's in an ambulance. They're like, must have been drunk. See, it wasn't weightless, or he was weightless. I don't know. Who knows what happened? Then we drove the car. Car killed him. Okay, discussion. What did you think?
I wonder. I thought it. 10. I lied. No, I did not think it was very good at all. I thought this was maybe worse. Let's see. What are other really bad episodes? Third from the Sun. This might have been worse than Third from the Sun.
Well, yeah, it was.
It could have been worse than The Fever.
I mean, your ratings are different from mine.
I know.
Okay. I think. Do you have an idea for a score?
Oh, I have an idea for the zone. I'm in the zone of the rating.
But we need to remember, special effects were nice,
yes.
and insults were nice, but there was just a
so
lot of
flawed.
problems. 4 out of 10.
4. Okay. Man, I don't know. I thought this was pretty awful.
You know what? I did give the new lowest rating for the first episode of the 2nd season. I gave it a 3.
Well,
So there.
I don't know. I am thinking. Okay, let's go with a 3. I do think it was that bad because
You know what? I think you just want to give the worst.
No,
rating.
I was thinking of a 3, and then you said that you did it, and
You want to give the worst rating. You want to give the worst rating.
I thought it deserved a 3.
You want to give the rating.
I thought it deserved.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Who cares? I don't believe you. Who cares? That's the end of the episode. Next episode, we'll be talking about the Howling Man. We'll see you then.
Spoiler: it's not him.
No, it's not me.